What's up, everybody? Good morning. This is Super Mike. I'm just coming to you really quick. Make sure you guys press the thumbs up, spread the message. If you're listening to this, I just want to make sure that we're aware because we have to stay mentally sharp. The way that our enemies keep winning against us every generation. And what I mean by winning is basically they make sure that we're the servants, we're the employees, we're on the bottom, and their children, their people who they choose are able to, be our bosses, get the money first. They know where to be to get the opportunities because they're making it easier for them to get the opportunities, and we're just running around confused and we're not teaching our children anything. And what's happening is when we our forefathers, our parents, and our generations before us do some work, are because we have not secured and defended certain bases like media, like education, institutional basis, then these folks are able to reprogram, redefine, confuse every generation, and kind of, dictate how our people think. And I'm just going to give a couple of examples of that. I'm going to show it real quick, but it just shows you that people don't have to actually even change the words of history books. They can literally change the way that people think about the words, the same exact words, but they can tell you it means something different now. Okay. And that right there alone will confuse different generations to think differently and weird. So I'm just going to take the word called pro black right now. So if you look at this word called pro black, so back in the day, we would look at somebody as pro black, like the Black Panthers, like Minister Farrakhan, somebody that is, really, teaching you something. Pro black, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, pro black. If you don't vote, if you don't have a black agenda, we're not going to vote for you. That's pro black. Pro black is giving you information that can help you, that can develop you. Pro black is Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, something like this. We'll just give this example just to show you. We want to show you, we're showing, and like I said, guys, make sure you press the thumbs up, make sure you do that, spread the message. And we're just showing how the enemy can just redefine words. And see, what's interesting is that the older generations, they think it has no effect just because it doesn't confuse them. But what it does is it confuses your next generation. It confuses your children because you're not the one educating them. And then when they start rejecting opportunities, and then they start telling you that they want to accept something that's not actually, designed for them, and you already know that's not going to work, you get confused and you try to write off your next generation. So here's an example what's actually pro-black.
What can I do to help? And I say, tell black people what white people talk about when there's no black people around. They all go silent. Because what are they talking about? They're either talking directly or in code about white genetic survival. I had a white college professor say to me after I had been invited to speak at a prison, white university, giving educational programs in a prison, 100% of the prisoners black males.
So white university being invited to educate prisoners. See, this is institutional. Now they get to educate and redefine and define. See, the first way that you are taught something, that's the way that you think it should be and is. And anything that comes counter to that first exposure of what you were taught, you're going to argue with. And I always give the example of Santa Claus. If your parents taught you Santa Claus was real, you just believe it. And then when people, students, or other groups of people or friends and stuff tell you that's not real, you're going to argue with them at first because you were not taught that the first time. And that's going to traumatize you. So I wanted to give this as pro-Black. But this is, I'm just going through this video. Here's another video. And I cut it a little bit thin because I don't want to actually, the sisters are beautiful, but I just want to show a point here. This is a mother and her daughter.
Ask him if he like that little skinny white bitch now.
What is wrong with you?
This mother is on the internet twerking with her daughter. So, but the real issue that I have now, this is sick enough. So obviously the mother is psychologically damaged. She's not a good example for her daughter, and they're out there thotting and bopping it up, and they'll figure that out because that's people. It's not the first, it's not the last time somebody's gonna be thotting and bopping it up. But this is what I wanted to do. Look where this was on. Pro-Black Vision. So this is on Instagram. So now the word pro-Black is now associated with ratchetry, with a mother teaching her child how to, well, maybe the child is teaching the mother. I don't know. Both of them are immature, but they out there thotting and bopping it up on Instagram to make money, shaking their behinds.
So your grandpa can see it.
See,
ask him if he
send this out so the grandma can see it. Put it on Twitter.
Like that little skinny white bitch now.
What is wrong with you?
This is a mother shaking butt. But this is what's going on nowadays. But my point is that pro-Black? No.
Okay. So how you?
See?
Oh, you can put this on Twitter. Oh.
Talked about the same
That's
thing
not
I'm
pro-Black.
talking
So
about
we
here,
went from
about
pro-Black
racism.
from Francis Cress
This
Wilson
white professor genetics.
to thotting and bopping up. Here's pro-Black.
All right, if you are a man, you keep your word. And now all that the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well then, show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well then, stick to your word. And let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
You see, so that's the knowledge that our people need to have. See, this is pro-Black knowledge. This is what the generation needs to continue. But you don't have that anymore. So what they're doing is redefining words. So, I'm going to show something else too, but let's show this is another instance. Here's a billionaire. Jewish billionaire. And I'm not going to be able to do this whole thing, but I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of information, and we're about to be out here in a few minutes. But this Jeff Thomas Kleinstein, or whatever his name is, this Jewish billionaire. And him and his family got old money, and they go around giving, money to the more conservative people. But, these people fund both sides. They fund both sides. Okay, so, and people are wondering why. You got statements out here by Maxine Waters. You got statements by, let's see, what's this dude's name? Yeah, Mayweather. He's standing with Israel. You know what I'm saying? You got Mayor Stoudemire. Okay. You got folks standing with Israel, but who stands with the Black American situation? Do you understand that these same people will kill you just like they killing those folks over there? What's going on, James? These same folks look at Black America in the position of the Palestinians. In America, the Black people are the position of the Palestinians, and you're talking about you standing with the you standing. That's not gonna get you no points. You sending jets over there helping them attack Palestinians. That's not gonna get you any kind of extra safety. Okay, that's not power. That's not doing anything. This particular guy redefining.
For many years, racism in America has been, to a very significant degree, a manufactured problem.
So he's saying that racism is made up for many years. Okay. In a way, we can see that, but what is he talking about?
When we speak about race, whether we admit it or not, we mean blacks. Black grievance, largely ginned up.
So the man said when he said when we. So I guess he's talking about the people that he's talking about, because we don't know what he's talking about. He means blacks, though. Race means blacks. Okay.
Provide.
See, race doesn't mean Latin. Race doesn't mean Hispanic. Race doesn't mean Asian. We mean blacks. That's what he's saying.
About race, whether we admit it or not, we mean blacks. Black grievance, largely ginned up, provides the fuel for the woke regime.
Okay, so now this is what's irritating to me. Yeah, it's funded racism by people like him. Yeah, and I mean, it's ginned up, but the woke regime. See, this is what I have a problem with. They take a word that means something and nefariously turn it into a negative. Now, we know that language naturally can change. Like people were using the word cool. Okay, let's just take cool, for example. Cool actually means cold, or it's a low temperature. That's what cool means. But way back in maybe like the 70s and 60s and stuff, people would see someone who kept themselves calm under pressure and say, hey man, it didn't matter what came across this cat. He was cool as can be. So that's just a natural adjusting of using terms in slang. So that's a natural changing of a definition, or adding a definition. And it really changed the definition, just adding a definition. And it's not really nefarious. It was just natural. And that happens on a lot of stuff like radical or gnarly, or, there's various words, certain stuff, slang. But what these people are doing here is politically, they're using, the man just told you race. He says black. He means black. And then he uses a word woke, which is something that black people use as a slang, telling people to become more aware, stop sleeping around and not understanding what's going on in the world, become woke. So now what they're going to do is change that word and make it mean something negative. And, that is what I'm going to go into this a little bit later, a little bit more. But like I said, I just didn't want to make this too long. Thomas Killingstein, go ahead and check this out. He's saying it's race manufacture. You can check that out on YouTube. And we'll also go over this situation here with Cornel West and the Cornel West, Sean Hannity, Alan Dershowitz debate. Okay, he debating Dershowitz. Okay, on anti-Semitism, Hamas, and all of this stuff, the war and all these type of things. We'll go over some of that a little bit later, but I just wanted to, just come through here and just, like you said, talk about certain stuff. Now the thing is, divide and conquer everyone else while we're consolidating and combine. Right. And the thing is, this stuff is strategic, but we got to understand what is the group that's actually benefiting or believe that they're benefiting, who's actually being hurt. How do we demonize? See, certain groups get benefits from keeping us. You got to have somebody that you can always demonize, pincushion. You got to always have somebody that you can kick around. And everyone agrees that, okay, we get to kick this group around. Okay. And look, so right now, like, you can kick the blacks around in America. In, Israel, you're going to kick the Palestinians around. And then you're going to say Hamas or whatever. And everything's on Hamas. And you can kill the Palestinian kids because, they're Hamas. Hamas is doing this and that. And then, the black people you can kill because, they're criminals anyway. They're 50% of the crime. They're 50% of the criminals, and they're 13% of the population. I mean, you coming up with this stuff so that you can violate the rules and laws that you have on your books. Okay. And then you got, folks here that continue to say, racism is just something that we just made up just to, the woke regime. And everybody's woke, and woke is
only
bad.
incidentally.
Don't want them to be woke. Want them to go back to sleep. Okay. So these are the type of things that we need to be studying. We need to be honest. There is a particular group that's pushing this, and these are a very powerful group. Doesn't mean that everybody who was born into that group is pushing it, but there is a strategy here, and it's coming from a particular group. And it has been going on for not just decades, not just hundreds of years. It's been going on for a long time. And so a lot of these folks are very expert, and we should be aware of it. And I'm just being careful with the words because, the thing is, that's the reason why all your politicians, big wigs, and rich people are out here defending something that is clearly evil. It's clearly evil. What you're able to see in the world today, and you got folks with suits on and professionals defending this stuff, millionaires and billionaires sitting up here, standing strong, talking about, we're going to defend stuff. It doesn't even make sense. So that's it, guys. Peace, and let me know what you think.